Okay, here's a good one. In terms of, I guess I would call, like, why you don't have any actual artists, like, one of the reasons. Um, the flag sketch. Um, when a person says, right, that they want to do art, like they major in art, and the person like constructs things. I'm not sure if it's called like drafting or whatever it is. I think drafting is sort of like an architect or whatever would do. Like anyways, um, like in the past was like helping the children build little models and stuff for school assignments. Okay, that when someone gives you a sketch and explains to you exactly how that would be built, and then you don't do it. I mean, that's someone who's either like in such a depressive state that they're like no longer even doing things they enjoy doing, or is in so much denial about what he did to the mother of his children that he can't even see actual art. Like, that's really in terms of like response to the Tumblr and things. The only sort of feedback that I can actually get. And I thought that there was some sort of a like sign maker that I tried to contact on Twitter too to see if he would do it. And like that was never built. I mean, it's like, do they not actually know what art is? Because that was fantastic. I mean, that's Almighty God's work, that type of thing. And even Marcus could have done it. I mean, didn't he say that he does stuff, and then he's got at a museum only because he knows Robert Pattinson. Um, this ridiculous ceramic jar, a pot or something, and it's like, okay, that's not really art. I mean, that's a dish. Um, I mean, I actually did think about doing it myself, but I probably should have because that probably would have made it better. But sometimes I sort of just like to convey ideas and not be like, I'm gonna be like a superstar, and I'm gonna like come up with this design and then build it myself and present it like, hopefully that makes sense. Like, some of the ideas about stories that people could write, or like an idea for a novel or a film or something. That's kind of what I do. I guess I think in a different environment I probably would have done more art because I was sketching. That was another thing too when I first got here. Um, it revealed a lot to me because I could not even like draw a stick figure, and I'm here like doing 3D noses and stuff, and the reaction is just like, oh, that's nice, and I mean, that was very very revealing to me in terms of other people's issues with me and with themselves, and sort of just like nothing I could do would ever be sort of like good. It would just be sort of like, whatever, Mary. Um, I really stopped caring about that a long, long time ago. I don't need validation from them. It's just sort of like it was revealing to me sort of into my life as in terms of like paths that didn't are not taken because of that. Um, right, a person doesn't all of a sudden at the age of 40 just start freehand sketching like that and doing 3D things. That doesn't happen. That's got to be an indwelling of some kind for that to happen, because the person would have been doing it um, during their life. Or, the person who was supposed to be doing that and that was cut off. Um, and, like, telling children not to write things, that's really, that's bad. That's really, really bad. Something was going on there in terms of just like thought distortions of some kind. Um, the Yeah, clearly James Franco's parents didn't have that attitude because of the things that he's done and some of these other people. But in terms of the people that they're holding in these prisons, that and just like the horrendous music. Again, today I'm on a walk and it's just like, are they kidding? Like, sometimes I'm just wondering if they're kidding and they're doing it on purpose, but it's just absolute crap. And it's like, after a while, do you not care that there's nothing good out there? And lockups on, so it's kind of distracting me. They're just having a visit, which, I don't want to keep really going over this because it's sort of like not a good place for me to keep dwelling on. But which again, forcing someone to live like this is purposely done, so I'm in a constant state of that. I think I explained some of this in terms of Alfred and why people murder people's children, why they kidnap people's children and stuff like that, because it's their way of trying to stay in the person's mind, and like keep someone in a perpetual state of suffering, and how sick that is. But I was just going to say that they're showing visitations with the people that are in the brick and mortar prisons. Oh, yeah, I guess that was good about the OJ thing. He's clearly had contact with his children while he was in prison. Um, so why that would ever seem normal shows a really, really high degree of quote-unquote mental illness on a lot of people's part. Um, the weekends are sort of like, I don't know if they actually started shutting down the writers' internet, because even like the dailies and stuff are not as good as they used to be. And it's kind of like, it shows a certain level of major clinical depression and sadism, because I've seen that in action, where even smiling and laughing and stuff like has to put a stop to, because that person's depressed or whatever. And it's not for a reason. Like, there's not even like a reason for it. That's what's like interesting about it. I guess some people could try to like hold someone in a prison and then try to accuse them of being sadists because they're pissed that you haven't let them out. But these are people that are just in a state of major clinical depression for no reason, and then they're acting like that, where like anyone that's happy they're mad at. It's not like you have someone nailed to a cross and then you're like, see, now you're a sadist. It's like, no, I'm not. Um, I don't go around, yelling at people on the street and stuff because they're out taking a walk and they're happy. Um, I think one of the things that sets me off is when it seems like they're trying to like present like, who were we, or hey, we were so and stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, and are people in prison? Like, that's like complete. That to me is narcissism. Like, they're just like, hey, on top of the world. Da, 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 da. It's like we weren't even really like revealing previously. We were just like, you know, get out of this war. Here's this like war stuff. Here's this information proving that these people are all lying to you, that it's all the same people and they made up a war. And here's vaccine information, and here's this information. That blah, 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 blah. Years. I mean, from my recall, before we even started getting into previously. Um, so this Kyle Rove again. I don't think Kyle Rove runs HUD. Does he work for housing? I don't think so. What's he saying? Calls for colleges to do what? They might be meaning collages, because that was funny.
More damaging. I'm starting to hear from ordinary Americans out there who say, you know what, it's too much. I'm turning out. I'm tuning out. And the problem for the president when ordinary people start to say, you know what, I've had enough of all of this, is that he's going to be stuck where he's stuck at that moment. And what I'm afraid of is that he's had
colleagues. My stigmatism. Colleagues. Calls for colleagues to serve with humility.
And I think a lot of people are starting to say, you know what, I'm done. I've had. He's had plenty of time to demonstrate to me whether or not he's done it or get it done. Now, maybe General Kelly will get it done. Maybe General Kelly will help turn it around. But I think that as long as we like this depends upon the willingness of the president to change it. Thank you, Pat. See you next Sunday. Up next, our Power Player of the Week from ABC.
Okay, so I get that, where they're sort of like encouraging people to not have a president. Okay, that's understood. I don't have anything of issue myself with that, or with him. I mean, unless he's secretly running HUD and working in a HUD office, that's not really my issue.
Does it with support from Dr. Scholl's. Only Dr. Scholl's has massaging gel insoles that provide all-day comfort to keep you feeling more energized. So he even has the energy to take the long way. Keep it up, Steve. Dr. Scholl's.
It's supposed to be Ann and Nicole. I haven't posted the episode yet. I guess I should have probably posted the episode first, but maybe it'll be funnier the other way around, because I was watching it last night and it was just like, to me, it was just like really funny. It's not as the actual episode is like a really bad episode, because usually her show is funny, but that one wasn't really funny. The only thing that made it funny was like one thing about it, but I watched the whole episode anyway. And as the episode's like halfway through, I'm like, excuse me, I'm like, man, oh man, did I pick a bad episode to watch. I mean, the Kentucky Derby one is really, really funny. There's probably other ones that are too, but in terms of the hair and stuff, it's supposed to be Anna Nicole Smith. I suppose they might actually think I was making fun of them, but I don't know if they're actually that crazy with their hair, are they? I love Anna Nicole Smith. I don't know what it is. It's just something about her that I always liked that show.
Preservision A-Reds too, because my eyes are everything.
Waters, Williams, Guilfoyle.
Oh God, Guilfoyle. I don't know, maybe like years and years ago I might have kind of liked her, but
Most people
She
being a Rhodes
is.
Scholar or a Navy
I can't even
SEAL
get
would be
into
a
it.
crowning achievement. But as we told you
That's
earlier this
another
year,
one because I remember when she was contacted that all of a sudden she was displaying her children in her kitchen and stuff. It was like completely wacko.
Meet Eric Wright, elected in November as Missouri's governor. And at age 43, the nation
Unfortunately, you can't pause these things, which sucks. Like, you can't pause the recording and then just go back to it and, like, keep it on one. You have to just keep doing other ones. So there's, like, a big lull in between.
Who also worked with humanitarian groups in war-torn countries like Bosnia and Rwanda.
Apparently, James is doing screen tests, or someone's, like, suggesting that he is or something.
Brightens did 4 tours as a Navy SEAL, serving in both Iraq and Afghanistan.
You know that at every moment, there's somebody to your left and somebody to your right.
William Bradford, I've
I can
seen,
stay strong for them for 10%. I can fight for
didn't
them
really
for 1
speak to
moment.
that
I can make it
much.
for 1 moment and I can make it.
When Brightens returned to Missouri, he started a non-profit
Sort of went
called
over
Mission
that.
Continue to help veterans with disabilities recover by serving others.
Honestly, I mean, if you met the guy, before, I'm not trying to say anything bad about him, but it's just like, if you met him before 2011 and you read this stuff, you're like, are you kidding me? Like, you're basing all of this on this guy's account of it? Then you'd really get an idea of how fictional American history is, because he ain't telling you the truth, and he's very dramatic, and he admitted that he likes to create drama and watch it play out. So that's not like someone that you would be reading an account of historical facts and believing it. It's almost like you're reading I don't know, you're reading Twilight, you're like basing a historical fact on that.
And on public safety, he's worked out with local police and gone to poor neighborhoods to hand out sandwiches.
We need to have leaders who are willing to go to the front lines, not just what too many politicians are just very good.
When Brightens and his wife Sheena held their first event at the governor's residence, they were told it's usually a cocktail party for political insiders. Instead, they invited 3 foster families.
It's very surreal, like, just people's actions. From this point of view, it's just kind of like, this is why, like, someone offered to, pay for me to go somewhere, and I'm like, I don't think I should do it, because it's like, I don't want to use the fuel, and you know what I mean, and it's like, I don't know if that's fair to, like, other people, and I'll be, like, at the store and, like, not really have that much snap left, and it's like, not wanting to get a 2-liter and getting, like, a 12-pack instead because it's not plastic, and plus I'm, like, always sort of, like, cognitive that, like, other people might be, like, observing that, and I feel like I have to, like, stick with that. I can't just be like, now everyone stop using plastic, and then I'm still using it, It's just weird to be kind of, like, observing people at that level of development, I guess. Because they do know. That's what makes it even weirder. Because they do know. I mean, it's not just me. I mean, people had uprisings all over the planet. And there was people online for years. It was a whole Occupy movement. And I think I was pretty direct and always using my name too. I was never like hiding my identity or where I was or anything. It's like they all know, so it's like really surreal observing them.
A notorious sanctuary city. Martinez has been arrested 13 times since 2008 in Oregon alone. His rap sheet includes car theft in Iran, criminal trespassing, meth possession, reckless endangerment, burglary, and shoplifting. He has criminal convictions in California too, including burglary, battery,
Yeah,
theft,
so
and obstructing a police
Thomas Harding stopped
The man is
working, so that
described
was
as a
good because that was starting to get
daily
like
letdown. He has been
disappointing.
deported, you ready?
Um,
20 times, with at least 5 probation violations for re-entering. Despite a rap sheet
I'm
this
sure
troubled,
he's probably
Martinez
maybe
was
at this
still
point like, why
waltzing
the hell
around
did I
Northeast Portland on
stop
July
working? You know,
24th. This is when his latest crime spree began.
I don't
Here
know.
are
I
the
think some of
sickening
that stuff
allegations.
is gonna be normal, but
Martinez, armed with a knife, entered a woman's home through an open window, used scarves and socks to blindfold her, gag her, and tie her
no,
up
I don't.
before
I actually don't. I was just
sexually
thinking about it.
punching
I
her and
don't.
slamming her head into the wood floor. Martinez then stole her car in search of a new
I
victim.
don't regret like what I've done, and like since 2011, and I don't.
He threatened to kill her and forced her into
I don't
her
really
car and
ever
leg
wish
her.
that I was like
The woman
still
tried to escape, but he tackled her and
a
slammed her head into the
sociopath.
ground.
No,
Once she
um,
screamed, Martinez ran and was caught by
I
police
become
carrying
frustrated
a
and
knife
mad
and
because other
stolen
people are
items
still
from a clothing
sociopaths,
store.
but I don't
Martinez was
ever
high
like
on meth at
regret
the time of
not
the
being
attacks.
one.
He's been charged with 13 felonies, including burglary, sodomy, sexual abuse, robbery, and unlawful use of a motor vehicle. He remains in jail with bail set at more than $2 million.
Yeah, some of them might not be. I suppose they might not be getting paid. They may live in a homeless shelter. Like I thought about that too, and they just like walk to the studio and do it.
Multnomah County Sheriff says the county is not responsible for enforcing federal immigration policy. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office does not hold persons in jail based upon their immigration status. So apparently, authorities in Portland, Oregon, and Multnomah County have no problem protecting monsters like this. The sheriff and the Portland mayor should explain to the victims' faces why Martinez was roaming the streets.
I would just be on there like ranting and raving like I typically do, like
And Kate's law should be the law of the
320 million. We need 300. We need 3 million housing units. What's going on? Stuff like that, like HUD. What's going on? If you're working for HUD and you didn't house me and you're in these towns and you need to stop working for HUD. People have sort of done that, but it's not the people that are the media people. It's the people they're they're interviewing.
They stab them with knives. They're animals. We will find you. We will arrest you. We will jail you. And we will deport you.
The president's visit
I don't agree with having a president, but it's like some of the stuff that Donald is saying is like what I'm saying. So some of the stuff, like when people were like, what's he doing and stuff, hopefully it's because they're saying they don't agree with having a president. But
tell me what you think, Ali, about what happened in Portland, because that place is a sanctuary city. This
what
criminal
happened in
illegal
Portland?
alien felon was deported 20 times, was allowed to have refuge in that city and wreak havoc on innocent victims. What do you have to say about that scene?
Which Portland?
First of all, I want to
There's a Portland in Oregon, there's a Portland in Maine.
We respect, have great admiration, are incredibly grateful for law enforcement officers across the country. That's number one. Number two, I do not, as an organization, we do not want to live in
I think that she orchestrated that entire thing just to cause me to lose my bed in the shelter. That's my honest opinion of what occurred. Because she's a sadist. And I had finally gotten to bed. And someone invited me to a Red Sox game, but I would have lost my bed. And I said that I wasn't losing my bed for anything. And I think that she kind of took that as some sort of a challenge in her, you know, sick emotional state. And I was clearly happy having a bed, and I was applying for housing and all of this, and I was like recovering from her abuse of me, and I had gotten accepted into a reduced rate membership to the Y at Quincy. And then all of a sudden, she wants to start talking to me again. And she initiated the talking. She wants to talk to me again. She wants to go back out with me. And she's, she's got appointment at South Shore Mental Health. And, she's back on for this engagement. And she's, gonna go back up to Maine with me and stuff. And I think she did it totally on purpose so I'd lose the bed in the shelter. And so she, because there's a whole bunch of reasons why. I can get into that if you want. She, first of all, she bought tickets so that
when they're going to immigration customs enforcement, checking in if they're undocumented, or if
by the, like, say we got to the bus station, and then she pulled her stuff and bailed, right? That I wouldn't have enough time to get back to the shelter in time, because you have to be back to the shelter by a certain time, or you can't get in. When we were at the bus station, she at South Station, she called her mother and said to her mother, and I quote, "So yeah, Mary's gonna lose her bed." Then she says, "You don't have to understand it." Okay? So, as soon as she said that, it struck me as really quite odd. And clearly it struck her mother as quite odd because of her next line, "You don't have to understand it." Like, her mother was probably like, "I don't understand what you're talking about," or something. And, so she, we go up there, and that's right. She had me beforehand buy food to eat on the bus on the way up there. So by that time, because this is what she was doing, is she'd hang out with me and have me buying her lunches until my SNAP units were all gone, and then she'd orchestrate one of these fights. So because she's at the store with me, she knows what things cost. I'm telling her what's left on my card, and so she knew that I had nothing left on my card after doing that. So I wasn't getting any income then. I hadn't gotten the cash part of the SNAP yet, and so she knew that I had no way to even buy food. And I couldn't get away from her or anything, because I had no money. I did have a telephone only because someone from the shelter that was at the shelter once gave it to me. It was his phone. So we take the bus up there, and then she was trying to get out of even having the dinner with her mother. She started saying stuff like, if you don't want to, go there and blah, 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 which is, if you've ever been around a scumbag, it's like you can see it as soon as it's, bubbling up. And so she couldn't get out of it. I think she was kind of hoping to just do something to make me lose the bed and then kind of get out of it, like she did the other time where I took off and because I was so upset. And I think I either came here or I went to my sister's house or something. But she couldn't do that time anyways. So we go up there, and we get the hotel, and then
as well as remission.
she talks to her mother again, and we go to the restaurant. It's her sister, and her sister's daughter is there unexpectedly. Like her mother told her on the phone before we got there, and she was clearly pissed. But she tried to like put it on me why she was mad. She's like, I don't think Mary can handle that or something. And I was kind of like, what the hell are you talking about? In my mind, I didn't say that. So we get there and we have the dinner, and she's clearly completely at ease with her sister and her niece and her mother. And it's kind of like, what was she even talking about in terms of not, her mother's sick and crazy and she doesn't get along with her mother and all this other stuff that could be malarkey, I don't know. But she was clearly at ease with them. And in deep conversation, it's like not even the way she talks to me, which is like really wacko and like wicked sadistically mean. She was not displaying any of that with them. So I'm clearly not comfortable at the dinner because her sister does nothing but talk and her niece does nothing but talk. And I'm kind of just sitting there, and I think her mother was pretty uncomfortable too because her mother really didn't say too much either. I don't know if she's usually quiet, but I'm usually not quiet. So if I'm quiet like that, then I'm clearly not comfortable and I'm not happy in the situation I'm in. And the people have no interest to me, and they're very aggressive and do nothing but talk and don't have any interest in anyone else. To me, I think that she was somewhat using that as like a reunion time for her family, and I was kind of just like, along for the ride. And I think that she might have been, in some sense, using me to try to convince her mother to let her move back in with her. Because she was like telling her mother before this that she was going to go back to therapy, and I got her to go back to therapy and all this stuff. And I think that she basically just didn't want to be at the shelter. She wanted housing, like at any cost, at any means. So I think that she was kind of like using me, trying to like show her mother that she was well enough to live with her or something. But anyways, so after the dinner, there was like this, we agreed beforehand that we were just going to have dinner and then the two of us walk around or whatever and then go back to the hotel. And then her sister is like manic or whatever. I mean, I'm familiar with it. Trust me. Her sister is like manic and is like taking over the entire, I'm supposed to be meeting her mother. And, this is the other interesting thing that the people at the shelter should probably know about in terms of basically Jen's bullshit. Her sister, who wasn't even supposed to be there, her sister and her niece, but it's basically her sister doing this, who wasn't even supposed to be there. She wasn't invited. And Jen and I didn't even know she was going to be there until like 30 minutes before the dinner, okay? Has Jen pay for the dinner. And she actually, I think, like, in this, I think it was after she ordered the food and stuff, like, she said she got her to pay for it. But like, I think Jen offered to do it. So this whole thing about she thinks people are stealing from her, I think that's a bunch of crap too. It's like, well, why are you paying for dinner like this? And her sister works and she drives. I mean, Jen doesn't even have a car. And so then and she seems perfectly fine with it. She's not flipping out on them about having to pay for dinner like she did with me with the friggin' soda she insisted I have. And so then after the dinner, her sister was like, let me give you a ride, let's go here. And I mean, it was like that manic. And it was like, it didn't matter what I said, that it was like they're that sort of like pushy and controlling. And get me into a car and start driving around and stuff. And it was like, I gotta get the fuck away from these people. Excuse my language, but it was like, I gotta get away from these people. This is like worse than my family. Not to be like talking about my family, but it's, in terms of being controlling, it was like way, way, way worse than that. And so finally, it was like we stopped at like a Rite Aid or something, and I was like in the store with Jen, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work out, just because of everything that was going on. I'm like, this is not gonna work out. So we go back outside, and I think she gets rid of her family or something, and we just kind of like walk back to the hotel, and then she's flipping out, and then she's trying to kick me out of the hotel. It was like this completely bizarre scene, and she's like trying to check my phone and this and that, and it was like, I don't know, it was just really, really bad. And like the whole thing about this isn't going to work out was pretty much resolved, because I mean, first of all, I'm 46 years old, and she was 37 at the time, and it's like, I don't think you need to incorporate your family like that into a relationship. You're homeless, you don't even have a family. So it was like kind of one of those dramatic things, like she doesn't have that. And then she actually tried to kick me out of the hotel room because she called her mother, and she starts having this big like 12-year-old rant at her mother about her mother not paying enough attention to her because it was supposed to be her dinner and stuff, which was good. I mean, it clearly, maybe she's never like asserted herself like that towards her family. I don't know, that part of it was good. But then after that, it became like I did something. And like just a made up thing. And she was like, gotta check my phone, and she's asking me who John is, that guy John from the shelter that I was like briefly friends with. And she's like, saying that she's gonna pay for me to have a ticket to get out, and she's putting on her backpack, and she's friggin' just leaving the hotel and stuff. Like, she totally went into like a whacked out thing. And yeah, I do think she did it on purpose. I completely think she did it on purpose, because then when we got back to the shelter, she started doing some other wacko thing. So I think that she does have emotional problems, but that the shit she was doing to me is completely sadist, and that she was doing it purposely. I mean, when you know that a relationship isn't going to work out, why would you keep going back to a person? And why call your mother and go, yeah, so Mary's going to lose her bed? And then after the thing happened at the shelter and I take off again, presumably now losing my housing and my SSI, was she in such an elated state? Like, the text, she wasn't even like sorry, she wasn't unhappy that the breakup happened or anything. She was just barreling off all of these wicked, sadistic, mean insults to me. Like, that was how, maybe other people didn't realize she was treating me like that, but that's what she was like even when we were quote-unquote together. She's just like a very, very mean, sadist person. Like, maybe viewing her with her family and seeing that she doesn't interact with them how she was with me, like even Fat Karen. I think like some people that sympathize with her, like Mark and Jonathan and Fat Karen, with like the multitude of excuses for this person, I think if they saw her at that dinner, how she was interacting with her family, they would probably question if this whole entire thing about paranoia and people trying to steal her money and these manic things that she can't control, if that's even true or not. Or if she's just a sadist and she like uses that sort of thing as an excuse to do it and to gain sympathy from people, and probably to gain sympathy from people to take advantage of them. So maybe kind of like as I was viewing that was kind of becoming a realization to me. Like if you supposedly have this relationship with your mother, right, where you can't even live with her because she's trying to make people think that you're crazy, and you know, you're homeless or whatever because of this, and then you're sitting and you're having like a dinner with these people and you're talking to them regular, you're at ease, there's no like odd silences on your part or their part, and and you're not displaying the same type of like acting like you can't understand the conversation, or asking them why they're fake smiling, and just all the things that she was doing to me. It's almost like I don't know, it's almost like somehow she learned how to completely mentally F with the person, and that's what she was doing to me. I know it sounds sort of like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't sound like that, but I think just that in itself, like those people, if they saw her interacting up there with them, that they would probably change their viewpoint of exactly how, you know, what people typically consider mentally ill she is, and if she's not just a very calculating sadist.